Welcome back. Now for a one-on-one with Peter Clottey, Africa 54's veteran journalist, Ghanaian President John Mahama is facing a chorus of critics before the November elections. Peter Clottey talks with Dr. Papa Kwesi Nduom, the founder of the PPP and a potential contender for Ghana's presidency himself. Take a look.
In November 7th, Ghanaians will be going to the polls.
Yes.
You have a party, a Progressive People's Party or PPP.
Yes.
You are their presidential candidate. Realistically, what are your chances of winning the presidential election in Ghana?
The Progressive People's Party has not officially named anybody as its presidential candidate.
But isn't it a foregone conclusion since you are the leader of the party, you are the custodian of the party?
Well, it is likely, very likely, that I would be the presidential candidate. But then we are engaged in discussions with some high-profile individuals and some political parties to form a coalition.
An alliance?
Well, an alliance, we call it a coalition, same thing.
The New Patriotic Party, also known as the main political party, and the National Democratic Congress, the NDC, seem to be dominant ahead of the election. How challenging is it for your party to play a critical role? Kingmakers, perhaps?
We know that it will be a challenging, a difficult task, but that's why we have set ourselves a task and a target that we think is achievable. And our target, essentially, we say that let's make sure that at the end of this election, it is clearly established that the PPP is the alternative. Now,
well, some people are saying that as an Nkrumahist, there are 2, 3, perhaps 4 Nkrumahist parties. Why don't you come together instead of having a splintered front with the Dankwa Buzia tradition, of course, with the National Democratic Congress, the ruling party at the moment? Why not start from uniting the Nkrumahist front?
It's not all just political parties. There are certain high-profile individuals in Ghana who are well known nationally, but who also command respect and audience and so on in their areas of origin.
Are you confident the elections will be free, fair, credible, transparent, meet international standards?
I cannot have confidence in a system that, per the institution, you know, we haven't given them the right tools for them to even determine who belongs in a register, who doesn't belong, and where we also know that the register is bloated, is not accurate, and so on and so forth. So what we are left with is goodwill.
Before we leave, let me ask you this. What are your expectations for the November 7 general election?
What I'm also expecting is that we, as Ghanaians, will let our character show. The good side will show that no matter be the case, that we'll take the election to be just an election, and that life must go on, and that we will decide that whatever be the conclusion, that we'll work with it. We'll work with it and ensure that the land remains peaceful, we strengthen the country, and we all work for the people to become more prosperous than before.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're watching Africa 54. I'm Cynthia Are. Vegetable production has long been a source of income for farmers in Nigeria. Now, farmers and local officials alike are looking at making produce an even bigger source of revenue. Let's go to the fields and markets in Plateau State for more.
With good climatic condition almost all year round, vegetable farming is arguably the easiest agricultural engagement. It not only provides edible vegetable for consumption, but also commercial activities in several markets. The popular vegetable market in Sabombarke, Jos South local government area of Plateau State is one of such markets which attracts a beehive of farmers, traders, transporters, and others from different parts of the country. Like any other business venture, there are challenges which, when addressed, will boost productivity.
Most of the vegetables, are perishable crops. Like in terms of cabbage, you know, the way of preserving it is minimal. But, you know, some used to slice it and dry it. And, you know, mostly you cannot, maybe you have cultivate a big farm, and for you to preserve it by drying, it's not that possible. So it is very difficult for us to preserve cabbage. But in terms of tomato, at least we are trying our effort to see that we have a way of processing it.
The solution to this problem may not be far-fetched, as a businessman on a visit to the market points out.
Basically, we are looking around and for how to basically assist the farmers by adding values to the product and contributing our own little quotas. By adding value locally, probably processing the strawberry locally, which can be added to yogurt. It can also be used for flavoring other form of drinks, and getting the product out there as fresh as possible and as quickly as possible, which will probably require a lot of investment in terms of transportation, cooling van, packaging facilities. Probably they'll need help from people outside the sector, which will be investors.
And willing investors know too well the unharnessed opportunities of the market and are ready to take them.
We're looking at agricultural opportunities, especially in the fruits and vegetable area. One of the challenges we have with fruits and vegetables is that prior to the scarce foreign exchange, most of the retail outlets seem to import the vegetables. They import strawberries, they import lettuce, they import kale, but some of this grow here. So how can we look at opportunities to develop this market?
The state government, also not unaware of the strategic importance of the vegetable market, says plans are in the works to improve its infrastructure.
The vegetable market, which is housed by Jos South local government, is one very, very important market that has to do with a lot of things attached to the local government. First and foremost, we're looking at the revenue generation, and we're looking at how the people are also empowered by the patronage.
We have taken steps to address the issue of storage and preservation. More so, you can see in agricultural production now, government is talking about value chain addition. We are not doing storage in Plateau State, we are not doing processing in Plateau State. Our produce just from the farm go out. We don't even have reputable markets that we can take our produce to outside the state. So honestly, that is one area that the Ministry of Agriculture is trying to address.
In a time where Nigeria is tracing its path to economic diversification, boosting vegetable farming and other types of farming may form part of the solution to this problem.
Well, it's time for us to take another break, but before we go, a reminder to visit our website, channelstv.com, for all the latest information, day or night. You can also find us at youtube.com/channelsweb. Still to come on Africa 54. He's a contemporary artist who portrays some traditional beliefs of the Igbo culture. We'll show you his amazing work. That's coming up in a moment.